game is falling apart early without him, and he's landing well. But he's like, but I'm Ornn, but I'm Gragas. You know, I don't have the opportunity to carry. I'd love to see him, you know, even do something crazy like, you know, prioritize something like a Tryndamere after taking the Jace away. We'll see what they do. Same band so far.
Yeah, I mean, as even the guys on the carpet space did talk
T1
about,
coach is wearing Gucci.
Like
That's fucking cool.
Was really
Flexing.
the issue, as we all kind of saw. But maybe you ban something instead of the Corki. I think that could look very nice. There's that Jace you were calling.
Jace ban, nice. You know, about fucking time.
You could still take away the Ahri from
about
Faker.
fucking time they banned Jace.
Good idea.
I agree. I
want to see a Nautilus ban as well, buddy. Yo.
Ban
thanks for the 4 months, dude. I'm not even gonna try to say your name, but tier 2, in that case. Thanks for the 4 months.
A lot of other strong first picks in this scenario could still take the Lee Sin once more. And Elam fell behind because of other circumstances in that game. He tried his best, as you mentioned on the cast earlier, but I still think that the Lee Sin pick is great. It'll be a Tryndamere ban, in fact, here for Keen. Interesting.
Yeah. Maybe they just also decided that, well, there's no point in banning out Faker, so let's try to ban out Zeus. I don't know. I think throwing some new ideas in there won't hurt either, because, as we said, the draft was fine for Game 2. So try a different idea.
Could see something like a first pick Nautilus here and try to react, but they want to go once again down the LeBlanc path.
LeBlanc.
I was going to mention that if we saw something like a first pick Nautilus, it opens up a lot more defensive bottom side possibilities for Teddy. Scaling opportunities.
Okay, let me see some Lee Sin here, baby.
Like Fate's Corki could come through again if they wanted to play a longer game. Because I think as Quantum Freaks, as we saw in Game 1 in particular, their late game win condition is where they looked strongest, when they were just avoiding fighting T1. They will lose the Nautilus pick, of course, with LeBlanc being taken here first. And we always get to see the good old Nidalee hover here for Owner. But I think the Lee Sin is the option he's looking for.
Yeah, seems very likely. There's the Lee Sin once again. Lee Sin and Nautilus together can really wreak havoc over the enemy team. Saya will come in.
Very survivable pick here for Teddy. Like this a lot more than a Misfortune. He'll get his Rakan pairing, one of Hoyt's better champions in the latter half of the season. Doesn't get his Nautilus, but we'll have a lot of power on this. Again, risky into the Lee Sin, as we talked about in Game 1. But
Nautilus Lee Sin, wow, pretends to be shocked.
Mid to late game team fights.
Nautilus Lee Sin, good job. I'm so shocked. Just pick Vex for Lissandra. I like Lissandra. Can we swap it up a bit? I actually think picking AD carry is also not bad if you want to just drop mid for now. There's loads of mids.
Lock in a Vex once again.
Yeah, okay, he's gonna run it back.
It's the best pick into LeBlanc right now, so
he's gonna run it back.
Etc. So not a shocker here.
Yeah, and you know that kind of makes sense for Kwangdong Freaks. No need to ban out
ban jungles or blind tops.
So kind of like the way they shaped the draft. This means that now
what blind tops are there? Gnar? I think jungle bans are what? Viego, Zin.
It's going to be difficult
probably.
when you're playing blue side, but I mean, he was almost doing
Olaf
it
not too shabby.
Against Jace.
KDF probably banning ADs. Maybe you want to take away Yinx, Aphelios.
Yeah. I would really like something like a Graves pick.
Or MF, yeah.
In this game, where
KDF seems to think.
Push a lane, be aggressive.
KDF think MF counters Saya.
Do a lot of damage.
Nocturne ban themselves. Interesting.
Top tier pick right now.
In this case, I think it's much better with their draft, but they've already picked.
I think Varus ban is also not bad. I think Varus is good into Zyrakan. Renekton.
Renekton.
Beast.
Really wants to have control in the top side of the map this time around. Picks like the Camille, the Tryndamere.
Show me that Draven, baby. Show me that Draven. Give me some. Give me some Draven. Don't pick Jhin. No, don't pick Jhin. Don't pick a Don't give me that bullshit. No, no Jinx either. No. Draven.
What do you think of Lee top? I only ask because you said they should pick a blind top.
Yeah, I want that
fuck you, medic.
Too. As the game is coming along, I don't think you want to rely on all the bursts.
Shut the fuck up. What's KDF picking? Are they picking Gnar?
From the top side as a great idea.
Camille.
Hold that counter pick, and now I'm really
jungle has to be Viego, right? I think Olaf is also not bad. Yeah, Volibear is fine too. Not the best, but works.
Jungle into the Jinx. Very strong pick. Shut down the turret. Dive aggressively.
Akali blind top.
Akali, though, is where we're getting.
You can't pick Volibear now.
It might still be the Volibear, but
you can't pick Volibear now.
Graves.
Don't be cringe. Don't pick Graves jungle.
Graves.
Don't pick Graves jungle. No, no, don't pick Rek'Sai either. It's so bad.
You have some assassination
Oh my god! Don't pick Graves or Rek'Sai, please. Just pick Olaf. It's better. Oh, it's even worse.
But now just going back to the
oh my god, Volibear, LeBlanc, Akali topside, just open it.
Play for Zeus to play tank Gragas. I'm gonna survive.
The only pick there is Viego. It really is the only pick.
Extremely magic damage focused.
And maybe Olaf, I would allow it. Or Trundle could work too. I would accept Trundle too. Trundle, Viego, Olaf, I would accept.
Be interesting to see Kennen here.
Okay.
Kennen into the Akali. Definitely an interesting match.
It's Keen's Akali. Yeah, the Akali's fine, buddy. It's the jungle pick.
Very difficult for Akali.
Yeah, Poppy would be acceptable too. Yeah, I'd allow some Poppy.
Shut her down. And it does give for T1 a little bit more flexibility for engage opportunities in the later part of the game. What I'm most excited for is, with these two drafts, I can't see a world in where T1 find themselves 5,000 gold ahead at 12 minutes. Like, just
GG was fun.
Probably, yeah.
Right. Like, I don't think there's a way that the Jinx Nautilus gets so ahead into a Xayah or Khan on the bottom side, would get like a kill or 2 kills with a die from Lee Sin into the Volibear. Fates on the LeBlanc, he laned extremely well against Faker's Vex in game 2. You know, he was the strongest point on Kwangdong's roster. So I think we might actually have a game where we hit a 20-minute mark and we're not, and the Nexus is not under threat.
Yeah.
That's my hope, and I think
Hecarim was good. Yeah, Hecarim was fine too. Actually, was Hecarim open?
I would agree with you. I think that
Volibear art is so cool. That bear looks so cool. Good job, Riot Games.
That are on T1, you know, of course,
what do you think about Yone AD carry?
Join forces to dunk
it's
on
terrible.
someone that they find. But other than that, you know, certainly T1 could just play it out slower and have a more difficult time fighting into his Xayah. So curious to see how this one will go as we will hop into the Rift.
Who do you think will win Damwon versus Genji?
Will T1 continue with their streak of wins? Or will Kwangdong actually put up a fight?
The most interesting part
pretty close.
Of this draft was the
I think the immediate surface level answer is Genji because they have a better top, and Ruler is, I mean, Ruler into Dogdam. I think Damwon's mid jungle is just better.
But does a ton of damage and is extremely relevant.
In isolation, Chovy's probably a better laner, but their mid jungle is just so good. And I think Peanut is, for me, sometimes Peanut is like, this guy can be really inconsistent sometimes.
Which is going to be totally fine.
Took a call.
Yep.
Birdo also didn't play too bad in their last series. I don't know, I would favor Damwon a bit. Maybe I'm delusional. But Peanut, I just don't trust Peanut.
Can be the same situation here, albeit perhaps with the turret disabled for a few seconds as it's going on. But you know, it's press the attack, Volibear. Kwangdong Freaks are really making a statement with this draft once again that they want to get in early. They want to control this game. They have a lot of late game AP damage with this Akali, with the LeBlanc. But it's kind of disjointed in the fact that the Volibear is going to fall off super hard.
I actually think Genji might beat T1, seeing how T1 played today. What do you mean? Genji will beat T1 because of how T1 played today. They won both their games in 20 minutes. What did they do wrong? Were they supposed to end in 15?
That's why I like the Graves hover there for a second. But let's see what Ellen can do in the early game.
Yeah. I don't know what happened.
Dude, this, like, pass me the pack, bro. Pass me the pack. Non-T1 believers pack. Pass me it.
As we see more ridiculous numbers, Keria went from 8-0 to 9-0, and Owner from 12-1 to 13-1 on those two picks, and they get them again.
Yeah.
Actually, GigaChat is my favorite, but I actually think like the believers pack with the smoke emote is also top tier.
Here we go, Hoyt. Gonna get rooted. Good trade here for T1.
It's kind of the way that goes usually.
Yeah. There have been a lot of successful Volibear players.
You picked Misfits to win against Rogue yesterday? No, I didn't. I picked Rogue to win. Dude, what is happening? Why is everyone like smoking all these packs?
We've seen Balrog dominate on it.
Dude, I predicted Rogue 3-1. Dude, pass me that shit. Everyone, man.
The fact that it's T1 to play a composition like this.
But I did predict G2 to beat Fnatic, which might also be another pack that I'm smoking that maybe you guys need some of.
If you have a Graves here, then you don't feel as compelled to make these proactive plays against a team that is so strong in the early game.
There's so much cope in my chat, guys. Stop it. We need to stop with the coping.
I think it's a brave choice from
Everyone's like fucking high as hell, smoking many different types of packs, bruh.
See a nice little pullback on the feathers there, as Kuma takes a big chunk of damage, and now level 3 taken. And this kind of makes sense. You know, the Xayah's going to have the pushing advantage against the Jinx early on. As we do have Owner who is going to spot, hey, okay, this is down.
Are you hosting today or casting? I've never hosted in my life. I'm casting. I can't host. Ooh, that was cleaner than my Windows. Damn.
Yeah, so much for
E-flash auto Q.
When Zeus just walks up and presses W, you get stunned, you get dove.
That was a clapper.
That's the end of the story. The early game's so rough for Akali.
Oh, nice knockup.
This is nice. Kuma is getting ignited, but just barely not enough damage.
Close to a 2v2 kill. Teddy wanted that.
Win of a
Yo, Don, thanks for the prime.
Down on the bottom side.
Yeah, this is pretty important. You know, the kill is amazing if you get it, but still forcing Jinx out of the lane is the name of the game here. Volibear doesn't have 6 just yet, but still finding that sort of success, pushing the Jinx out of lane, crashing waves into turret is what you want to be doing as Kwangdong Freaks in the bottom side of the map. So at least turning that pressure top side into a successful gank, or not gank, but engage bottom side. Knowing that you're free to do so, knowing that you're safe to do so. As this is just Kennen.
Okay.
Has the W.
Okay.
He says okay, he's calling for a gank. He's like, I don't have W. And then just goes into melee range to hit him with a shuriken to guarantee the stun.
Yep, lightning rush as well.
Okay.
Just to say, hey, you're definitely stunned. 5-game winning streak here, and Zeus is 3 of those wins. Might be picking up a 4th here tonight in this game. Also, take a look at the other names, Kana and Keen. Kana on Nongshim, which kind of had a disastrous spring, but definitely a strong player in his own right. Picks up a win on this.
Former T1 player.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go.
And
former T1 players are everywhere.
For the Kennen. In this particular game,
T1 is like, I know exactly what T1's doing. T1's growing talent, making them into world-class players, sending them off to other teams. They either maintain their form or they get worse, but they still have secret agents in every team. And soon those players will spread from Korea to the rest of the world. Like Gory is now in FPX, right? So it's slowly sabotaging China with like Klid as well into FPX. And eventually they'll start to go to the western regions, and like T1 will forever win every championship in 10 years' time. And the imposters will take over. It's Joe's world plan of dominating the world.
Yep, will not have to flash. So
Sleeper agents everywhere.
Faker's ult being down for a little bit here is
Berserkers in C9. It's Hoonies in TSM. He's doing a fantastic job.
Coming up in 2 minutes is this is a nice trap. I really like
Sleeper agents everywhere.
Super smart and proactive.
Yeah, he's going to find Owner. This was the expected result. The follow-up gank as Owner's going to kick Fade away as now Ellen will be able to flash in, and finally looks like Kwangdong Freaks get something on the map.
Yeah, finally put something on the board here. Will cost Fate some minions in the mid lane, but well worth it here to set up a kill for this Volibear. Loses Flash, which is really important for potential bottom side dives, but already finding some success here. Relieving the pressure top side as well. Zeus is now back, and we'll have to walk back to lane.
They probably have a system for their agents as to how like high up in the ranking of agents they are, right? Like top tier T1 sleeper agents, I'm thinking Peanut. I'm thinking Kana. I'm thinking Klid. You know, recent top tier, I'm thinking Teddy. I'm thinking maybe Scout. These are some top tier T1 talent ready to sleep it up. Then you've got tier 2. Tier 2 is like a little bit of Berserker, a little bit of Hoonie, maybe Closer in Sandbox. I don't know who tier 3 is, maybe Gory, but like tier 5001, 5002, then Elim starts to show up somewhere. And then next to him there's Cuz. They're like at the bottom of the tiers.
Drake here now.
Bit of a cloudless
Effort is down there too.
You know.
Actually, dude, I'm so toxic. I need to stop hating on them. They're not that bad. They aren't.
Apparently it did not. Maybe it will later.
Only in the morning. It was like all morning raining. Maybe
rain later on, it annoys me because KDF have really good players. And I feel like if they had a stronger jungler, this team could contest the top 3.
These games don't happen in the morning.
They have a chance.
Yep, the gamer hours, you know.
So
even though they are top 4, I actually think they could put up a fight against the top 3. Because there is a gap. There's like T1, Gap, Genji Damwon or Genji Gap Damwon. And the gap is like the size of Mount Everest. And then there's like DRX KDF.
Also has long range damage. He's here. I mean, it looks like, we see where Teddy is on the map, looks like he's considering just going bottom side and leaving this because of the prio that Zeus has. And I think that would be the best option. But you know what? He changes his mind. He's coming over here. Fate's extremely low on mana. Like, do not do this to me again, Kwangdong.
It's so hard to dive directly into all of this, yeah. And they're just going to get right on top of
here as good engage. Down. Now it's 5v4. Every single person who carry a hooks is just one shot. He has a hidden passive on his Nautilus Q. Get hit by a hook, you die after 5 seconds no matter what.
And they're not leaving, Wolf, unfortunately.
Or Carrier dies. That's just how it goes. Every hook, you die in 5 seconds or Carrier dies in 5 seconds.
The slicing maelstrom. So you have to walk through this choke point now, and that's a no for me, dog. I'm going to say absolutely not. Don't think so.
Oh, close.
That's going to be the Rift Herald going down. And now they're just going to
nice volley roll. Good job, Elim. Actually, good engage.
Rift Herald pit, but again,
well, there's the hook, and there goes Carrier. Just to be like that.
But everybody else goes down.
Oh, Hoyt is here.
He's trying to get on in here with the engage. Big pull back on the feathers.
Oh no, show me that kick into Keddy. Oh, nice try. I saw it too, buddy. I saw it too.
That would have been the case.
Ooh, get in there, boy.
Owner jumping into 3. Just going to be another massacre. As T1
Cue the
taking him down 1 by 1.
The only wins... Oh my god, Kuma almost gets him with a chomp. Doesn't matter. Zeus will get the kill in the end. The only win that Kwangdong get in this fight is actually the early part of it. And Zeus ults solo, so that's why they were able to actually close the gap there, and Fate's trying to do that damage. Will we see a punish here?
As Ignite and ult. And he is thinking about it, but no.
Okay.
I mean, he was just going to get stunned if he went in there, so it's not going to happen.
Not going to happen. Too risky. We'll be able to crash this wave instead, but the only win in that fight was the early parts of it, but then they had to flash over the wall, found themselves on T1's side of the map.
Is T1 good or is KDF bad? T1 is very good.
So extremely risky.
Very, very good.
And Hoyt comes into this fight super late and does give them some longevity. Look at where Zeus is in this fight. He's not actually ulting the team. Yep. So as a result, Kwangdong gets to close the gap here. Carrier gets rooted by the chains.
Like, okay, listen. I know I've talked about this. Someone has asked in the chat, right?
Speaking of wrong side of the map.
What happened here?
Someone has asked in the chat. In Korean, the way you say Zeus's name is Zeus, right?
Less than 3.
Right?
Just Nautilus carrier things, I suppose.
But isn't it, like, correct me if I'm wrong, but like the way you say faker in Korean is probably like faker, right? Or something like this. Isn't it a bit different as well? Like Korean pronunciation is just different. You don't say faker in Korean, right? You say like faker, right?
Will he though? No.
So even if you're supposed to say Zeus, I think you should just you should just say Zeus, and instead of saying like you don't say like T1 Paker in the West, right? You just say like Faker, right? Is it the same thing?
Yeah.
Do you just say Zeus? Am I wrong?
They're in the danger room, like, owner's like, can I live this? Run it again.
Because if I'm casting T1 at Worlds, I feel like I just want to say Zeus, because Zeus just feels...
Let me see if I survive this time. Oh, man. 4-1 and 3 on the Lee Sin now. Zeus free farming bottom side, while the Xayah is pushed out on the top. Everything is going well for T1 here.
Like, I'm sure there's correct pronunciation based on how you say it in Korean.
In the draft, in some respects, right? It was not a perfect draft here from Kwangdong, but I liked it so far of the 3 the most.
You're like, wait, what?
I still feel like coming to this replay, I'm not really sure how we got here, but
I mean,
Keen is just staying in lane, and the lane
another player called Zeus.
It surprises him, and that's the end of it. Elim thought he was going to be able to turn something around here.
Yeah, and then the limit testing begins. The training room is open for business.
Owner's like, oh, we got to run it again. You pulled him out of my queue.
Yeah.
Well, the second queue lands. He goes all the way in. And yes, he is caught by the feathers. But he just waits to get safeguard up. Just walking away, walking it out casually.
And then he drops the Rift Herald. I actually missed that. He's like, oh yeah, like, I should probably use this item. And yeah, they do get that down, and the turret dies. I feel like I can't even blame Keen for the position he was in, as Keria is in the Raptors. It's just desperation, you know? They're trying to get plays down, but now it's a little bit too little too late as the ult comes in. Now this is 2v3 for now, as Faker will land that in. A big rocket as well right onto Hoyt. And now
KDF
the
fence in the
cavalry will
background.
join on in. There is the fear, but it's not enough, and Faker actually will go down as now Teddy is alone, but he's going to win the fight on the top side as Kwangdong Freaks. They catch some limit testing. Owner trying to go 1v3, should be able to take out Elam though, as this Sonic Wave will not land on the follow-up.
Now another kill going over to Owner, and I think he's kind of reached the peak of where Lee Sin is going to be in the early game. Guma does not have Rocket available.
Oh, that was hilarious.
Poke, let's go, man. So that's the end of that. But like Owner is so fed that he can make crazy plays like this and threaten people, but him getting the final kill there, putting himself at 5-1 and 3, like those are, you're getting diminishing returns on the Lee Sin being extremely fed. You'd rather the kills go elsewhere.
How confident can Owner get here, as now he will go down finally? That's going to be the shutdown given over to Keen. All of a sudden, Kwangdong Freaks are only 5,000 gold behind. All of a sudden.
4.4 thousand behind. With that kill coming through, once the graphic updates there on the top, Kwangdong Freaks will even out the Drakes, and all of a sudden, you know, the gap is decreased. Okay, we are in a game.
Is the gap closing? No, the answer is no.
We're in a game now where some kills have been given over to Kwangdong Freaks.
Korean pronunciation is weird. In Korea, Caedrel is pronounced cancelled.
So well. And he just says that he has no flash after this, and
good one, buddy, good one.
Honestly, frankly, quite ridiculous.
Good one.
Try to pull this off because they have all the set pieces, like they have all the chess pieces in position. Then it's just a really nice play from Hoyt to actually trap them in. Fate pushes through. The turret is firing. Like the volley bears.
The copium fans have gone.
And then it's a nice route to follow up here. Really impressive stuff coming over here from Kwangdong Freaks. T1 still almost.
The overdose is gone.
Yeah. But give a lot of gold over in the process.
It's like they're super far ahead, and then they blunder their queen, and they win anyway. It's you know, just to continue the chess analogy. Owner is, you know, he knows the Akali's on the bottom side, but you know, the day, I mean, does he really care? Like, he's just assuming everything is his, and for the most part in this game, it has been.
Turn off the vacuum. Vacuum's done, bro.
On the second Rift Herald here for free. Kwangdong Freaks, I think they've learned not to contest these.
Right.
Yeah, they certainly have. And
can you still hear it?
Those kills coming through, they're in no position to actually take a 5v5 fight right now. Well, unlike last game. Okay, Keen.
Oh, Keen can die from.
Unlike last game. Hold on, Keen.
Okay.
Oh, he's dead.
Shuriken, he might have enough damage. R2 comes in, but
oh my god!
Keen gives it a shot, but double buff.
Faker diff.
Faker is going to turn it down.
And also, Faker is playing a champion that loves all those dashes.
Holy shit.
Towards his face, plays it really well. Back
what was that? Okay, surely Zeus dies as well. Surely Zeus dies, right? So level 11 the blink.
Fate, I think that second one missed, but this is going to be the chains landing, and a Q auto will be enough. Fate takes down a kill. This game has delved into just straight up chaos.
Keen really can't play the game.
Feels a little bit like solo queue.
Certainly does. So when the dust settles here,
this is a bit of a solo queue.
That kill. He's still extremely behind right now in terms of itemization. As you know, on the opposite side, Zeus hasn't taken a massive lead. Like he's 1, 2, and 3 in this game. Has his proto belt.
React to the Karma rework.
And
no way!
Shortly, but
how was that? Was that okay?
These trades keep happening for Kwangdong Freaks, as we're gonna watch this from Faker's perspective. He's like, I might die. I don't think so. Got him. And that's the end of that.
How did Faker live through that? Where was Akali's R2 damage? It didn't do anything.
Going back to my original point, because we just saw these like 5 seconds ago, is that there are some form of gold. There's some form of gold. There's some form of money going over to these carry champions.
The shield came after the R2.
Well, their volley bearer is running out of steam. He's already massively behind this Lee Sin pick. There's so much more playmaking potential here. And the AD carry that already isn't really a traditional AD carry on Teddy Zaya, is extremely behind a Jinx. So while this gold looks
Sassy
cool
Baka.
on these flashy assassins,
Sassy Baka!
really going to amount to anything if Quantum Freaks can't do it like
Look at the
7
CS
more
difference in
times
jungle. Yeah, I know.
and then start threatening Soul
I think
Point.
Elim is
Because
at this
T1
point
still
leashing
in
camps for owner.
massive control over this game.
No, I'm kidding. I'm not flaming Elim anymore.
Yeah, it's definitely true. You can see that they're just trying to choke out all the vision here on the bottom side of the map and allow Zeus to push that in. This time, Fade up on the top side, taking a turret.
What tier 2? Any divers?
Sad or disappointing. That
No divers?
does make sense in this case because they have the defense down on the bottom side. They're not so far behind that they can't do that. And Fate is getting value up on the top side of the map.
Removing some vision or checking to see if there is any and clarifying that there's very little up there. So can actually potentially look for a play here onto Guma. He is unseen. If Guma walks forward here and he gets a pick, I mean, that removes the enemy AD carry. But Guma's playing very respectfully here.
Okay, more on Lee Sin. Basically, he's going to 1v9 now. He's basically just won the game with that item.
There's not an insane amount of control like there was last time where Keria could just like walk up
Lee
and
Sin
kill
is
a little
unkillable.
but also there's no Nocturne. So
You have an AP top, AP jungle, AP mid, AP support. Time to one-shot all of you.
Illustrating there. So
what is Volibear's AP percent damage? Like his ratios? Yeah, don't plus L, don't plus practice in my head. What is the ratio? 80% magic?
But it once again is all of the eggs are in the Fate LeBlanc basket.
Yeah, and he's going for Banshee's Veil. It's not an item we see all the time, but he is going up against pretty strong double AP burst, so I don't mind it as much. Also, the Banshee's Veil can get some value against the Nautilus and stuff like that.
Maidenless? Actually, I'm not maidenless.
Something I thought
you can check the VOD in Elden Ring. I'm not maidenless. Any chores? If you were there, you were there. I'm not maidenless. I have maiden and one game.
You know, just straight running at Kwangdong.
Yeah. Also interesting to know the Faker went for.
I'm the Elden Lord and I have a maiden. So yeah, actually, fuck you.
As T1 do have control over this Drake. It's not Soul Point yet. It's in fact only the third Drake of the game. Very late, very slow-paced game here in terms of Drakes. Are 20 minutes now. So Quantum Freak's not going to force that. It's just going to be Fate trying to side lane
Elden
over here.
Summon Lord.
Level up on Faker.
Didn't summon that much.
Feels very comfortable. Does not have the same amount of vision control as he had moments ago, so we'll have to show some respect here. You look at the gold lead, it's only him. You know, we talked a lot about the Rascal Stripe. In this game, it's the Fate Stripe.
Very true. We do not have vision of if Zeus is alone, and in fact, he is not. Uner was hiding on bush as we spoke, so not much going to amount.
The Mimic stole Rennie. Shut up.
Away. Keen has his own stopwatch now.
Alright, so what's happening in this game? 5k gold lead for T1, kinda.
Drinker for Gamusi, the Mal Mordius for Owner, and a very AP-focused team.
Break in 4 minutes, they only have 2.
Extremely high-value items to build. And we'll see what Kennen builds after this Void Staff.
I told you Keen is Omega overrated. Keen has a bad game.
But, you know,
he is overrated.
What's coming through here, the Volibear. You know, he's in a position where he could have built really anything. But it's really difficult to actually blow up these targets with a Hex Drinker with the lifeline.
I told you he's overrated. I knew it all this time. Look, here's a game where he played bad.
Faker has so much ability to shut him down. That's why Vex is the counter pick to LeBlanc, right? So
he's still up a level, even though he died 4 times. But I don't care. He's 1-4. Look at his score.
It is the Elden Lord Committee here. We are pleased to announce that the Mimic tier has been elected to Elden Lord. Congratulations on supporting the new Lord of Everything.
That time around, Keen is actually up a level on Zeus, which is kind of funny. This is where we're at, especially with Keen down to 1-4 at this point in time. I suppose he has soaked up more of that XP a little bit better.
Yeah, Zeus has not been allowed to farm very freely because of this Akali problem. And the LeBlanc, like, he's shown so much respect because he doesn't want to give those kills over anymore, right? He's died twice this game, but, you know, that's not related to his side laning. He just doesn't want to give over any.
Look at Zeus's XP bar. He's not even close to level 13. He's actually a full level down.
He will be in this game, and that's part of why he was picked in this draft. Obviously, a lot of power in the laning phase against Akali, as we saw early.
Odo's trying to start the copy pasta in the chat. Odo's trying to start the copy pasta. Good job, Odo. Wins his best of 5, comes into the chat, starts copy pasta, refuses to elaborate.
You know, we're not looking at a Nexus falling. We did get to that part of this draft. So we were right on that account. See what happens next here is Kwangdong Freaks just
Giga chat Odo.
farm it out a little bit. And there's in 2 minutes when the Drake spawns, if they can get enough vision control over that or get a pick before that fight happens, they're going to start turning this game around.
Yeah.
And Soul Point doesn't necessarily mean the end for them.
Oh, he's going to get another copy pasta here. You guys think you are funny, but in fact you're actually funny. Oh, another copy pasta. Odo's farming them.
Nice for T1. I like that Keen is going into the Void Staff immediately after. Just given the fact that there are going to be some Merc Treads, you know, the Maw Malmortiuses, 2 of them that you did already talk about. It's going to be very good for chewing through that alongside of the Mountain Drakes, which are even going to amplify the MR further. And somebody's got to do that damage. Fate
I can't.
Not built too much penetration. He has Balloons, you know, the mythic passive and stuff like that. But still, Fate now looking for that play onto Faker. This is what you were talking about. You know, he did get his big pick in this draft, and he has to be the carry. So I like that he is looking for opportunities here.
Yeah, and Faker, I think, is the best target he could try to find. And if he plays it like that and uses his distortion before Faker can react, just procs electrocute repeatedly, that's how you're going to kill Faker in these moments, even under turret. If you force Faker away, you get that minion wave to crash
Guma's
through,
built, he can't die. They just
to
wait for Drake.
Set up for an objective fight. He does have teleport, and so does Faker, but, you know, a LeBlanc teleport, if unseen, if hidden, actually gives him flank opportunities. Those the vision control here, not as much, you know, not as much oppression from T1 as you normally see, because they've played this mid game a lot more respectfully. They do have it where it matters most, though, around this Drake, which is why Kwangdong Freaks are now grouping up with sweepers here, trying to push this cannon away.
You think Faker is packing? Well, yeah, MSI is in Busan, so he's probably already got his suitcase ready.
There is still a chance. That's
all they need to do is win one more series after this.
Okay.
Yeah, Fate is still hunting, and the lack of vision for T1 might come to bite them if Fate gets a free kill. Kind of like what we've seen him do in the past.
Let's go, man.
Unseen at the moment. Squires does not catch him.
Pog, let's go, man. What are your thoughts on show mid with Everfrost, Demonic, and Rest Tank? With Comet Inspiration.
Goes extremely far into this one, and the
nice knock.
Perfect.
They save him? No, they can't. What? How did he go through Rakanald? Okay, died. Winnable for KDF. Any reverse sweep in yours? Oh, Keen.
Trying to push them away, and Zayus will actually go down, meaning this Mountain Drake
winnable
is
game.
going the way of Kwangdong.
So 2 for 2 Drake game. Really
winnable
nice
game
setup from Fate. Gets value out of his Banshee's Veil there just for a moment, and even though Owner had some heroics.
What are your thoughts on Cho'Gath mid?
Oh, wait. Call for the engage alongside a Carrier. This is 3v5 right now. Keen extremely low.
Oh my god, Carrier hit the hook, but he's gonna die for it. But Guma gets the kill back.
Will bring him in for a kill now.
Nice. What do you think of Cho'Gath mid, Everfrost, Demonic, and Rest Tank with Comet Inspiration? I don't think you should play Cho'Gath mid, buddy. I think you should figure something else out.
It's arguably more valuable. So, I mean,
it's
the ways that
probably fine in low reloads.
This is, there's no vision here.
TP, Owner's coming in, and Fate's TPing bottom.
I think you need more of like a, if in solo queue you need more of like a carry mid champ that can actually roam a lot. You know, like solo queue champs that are good for mid are things like Kiana, TF, champs that can move around, or champs that can stomp lane, LeBlanc, you know, Yone, Akali, Irelia, I don't know, stuff like this is good for mid, I think.
Potentially incorrect.
Yeah, I mean, they didn't have any vision of it, but they might have the game sense that it is occurring. As Owner buys so much time here, knows the shield coming through here.
Zillion, yeah, Zillion is broken as fuck.
And Kwangdong Freaks are in control of this choke point here, but so much damage is actually traded back. Zayus, you know, ults defensively here. All the while, Faker's just repeatedly hitting Qs.
Sylas is fine in some games.
And then when Carrier decides, like, you know what, I think we can actually win this because our wallets are pretty heavy.
Wait, lol, no name, can you DM me his OPGG?
Faker all-ins behind him, and it's just really tough for Keen to do anything here. He really wants to stick around, he wants to punish.
T1 was able to turn this, they're nuts.
This does end up going down, and that's enough damage, enough kills here for T1 to just walk over and do Baron. They have their 80 carry alive, 4-0 and 6 Jinx.
Yeah.
And that's Baron, and more vision control now. And this amount of oppressive vision control that comes with Baron means that LeBlanc cannot really do anything. Not for the moment.
And knowing T1, we know that now that they have this objective, they are going to get aggressive. They are going to look for those plays. As you can see here, Fate is on vision the entire way through. Some turrets do go down the way of T1, and they will just go back and buy And yeah, I mean, Teddy dying immediately, it felt like they had no clue or no concept that T1 could potentially re-engage there. And I think that's fair. I mean, who would have expected 3v5 re-engage? Otherwise, he would have just walked bot with his teammates. Instead, he walks up and then gets hooked and taken down as a Xayah, which is not, which is not what you want to see.
Jinx has IE,
and
so have fun against that.
And I do like this choice, but again, Jinx going to be way more valuable.
Oh my god, these Volibear items are so depressing. He's 1.5 item at 28 minutes. It's so unplayable, man. How can you play the game? This Volibear is two-shot by everyone.
Will catch you. Curry will not miss a dredge line.
We almost have a Zhonya's complete here for Keria, by the way. Just 1300, I believe, 1350 maybe.
Ooh, Rabadons for Zeus.
That item.
It's lit.
And it's actually really good on these engaged supports where you just, you're always going face first, essentially, and the enemy team has a whole boatload of burst damage. Just allows you to make plays and not just immediately die.
And incentivizes you to make a play with this stopwatch, too, because you'll get a second one as soon as you go back and buy if your team wins the fight.
Surely the series is over, right?
Get that Zhonya's.
Stasis will always get the stamp of approval from me, as Fate is going to die immediately. There's another
surely the series is over, right? GG. Quick 3-0.
On the Hoyt in the back line. Will Faker pull the trigger? The answer will be no, but T1 pushing in with the Baron, looking to secure their finals berth here, and it might just happen on this push.
Looks likely. T1.
Well, you're an Astro Chad if you voted KDF, but you're bye-bye to your points. You're also griefing.
2 inhibitors now down.
This was the most, I don't know. This game was a little bit closer, I guess, but this series was such a fucking stomp.
Wave, as you say, with the Baron buff gone, and we'll back away. You know, this whole game has really been, as an analyst, you know, for me, watching the first 2 games were extremely one-sided. Try to find the one way, if there is even one, that Kwangdong pull this off, win this game, and bring us to potentially the start of a reverse sweep. And
KDF pack rip Bozo.
You know, he was the one who got
KDF pack rip Bozo.
Oh, let's go, against T1 here. And in the second game,
Lamau, you call yourself a Caedrel fan? I'm loaded on channel points, bro. I highlight every message because I'm just that jacked. Try talking in chat again when you're a real fan.
And now T1 have free reign over this game because it's otherwise a Xayah who doesn't have really any damage and extremely behind Keen. Like an Akali who is a paperweight essentially in this game. No stopwatch to speak of. And I mean, Fate dies.
I have something to show you guys after this game. It's a bit of a bruh.
You're playing with COVID-19 in a series that is one of our most one-sided since we've had the format change here. And it's just a tragic ending to what was a really big turnaround in the season for Kwangdong Freaks.
Yeah, you can see at least in Fate's position, the lead is the smallest. Other than that, everybody else is getting dunked on, including the support role here. Scaria just has more map gold and stuff like that. As T1 now, they went back, they bought, they got a second Mountain Drake, which again, is actually going to be really good with all the resistances that they have built up. It's
any TPs?
There is that one teleport ward, a couple of teleport wards behind them, as Guma is taking some poke damage. As we speak, Keen could try to go for the flank teleport if he wishes, same for Fate.
Yeah, that's the one angle you've got. Owner has GA, positioning here very aggressive.
It's TikTok on those waves.
Nowadays in this lethality, it is
yes, wave clear is a bit shit. Oh my god, that Jinx ult did so much damage. What?
I mean, it's still hard to engage.
Didn't they nerf it?
The poke is good though. As
there's that stopwatch value.
No, stopwatch comes in. Keria immediately
okay, that's
dies
one.
Afterwards,
but yeah, everyone
here is the engage. Akali dies. Everybody dies on the side of Kwangdong Freaks. Will they get Zeus at the end of the day? No, they will not. T1 will pick up the 3-0 tonight and move on to the finals.
It was such a stomp.
T1
in the finals.
To the surprise of literally nobody as they stomp their way through the Kwangdong Freaks.
3-0 victory, extremely one-sided.